Listening to that in the studio is the Palestinian ambassador to the UK, Ambassador Husam Zomlot, joins us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nick.
Let's come to the substance in a second, but first the process. Why won't President Abbas even pick up a phone call from the White House? Why not engage, even if you don't think you'll like the outcome?
Because things are bluntly clear. This is neither a deal nor a plan, and it definitely has nothing to do with peace, Nick. This is the scam of the century. It's fraud on every count. Fraud on the timing, as was alluded to by your correspondent, Jeremy, just now. Today, the Israeli Knesset is discussing the criminal charges and the immunity. Today, is that a coincidence? The impeachment process and hearing also today and yesterday, is that a coincidence? It's also fraud on the content. We don't need to know what's in it. We only need to know what's not in it.
And what do you think will not be in it that should?
Jerusalem is not in it. It was President Trump who said now Jerusalem is off the table. And Jerusalem is not just an issue of sentimental, religious. Jerusalem is owned by its own inhabitants. We have 350,000 Palestinians who own every home, every mosque, every shop, every church. I mean, what do you do with these people?
Now, what people would say back to you, and I think what Donald Trump is likely to say, is, look, you can live with the fantasy of the Palestine that you wish to create, or you can deal with the realities it is, while your people are getting ever poorer.
But that's not true, and this is not a fantasy we have. It was actually a concession we made to accept international legality, international legitimacy that decided that the resolution of this conflict will be on the basis of two-state solution on the 1967 borders, that Israel will end its occupation that began in 1967, and there will be a sovereign, independent state of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital, and a fair resolution to the issue of refugees. This is not us who decided so. It was the US-led international system, and we accepted it. Now, today, to come and think that Palestinians will further compromise the 22% of Palestine, and that our rights will be simply for sale and part of a show business in Washington, they do not understand nationhoods and, aspirations and politics of identity.
Well, even the man who was National Security Advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister, the man we just heard from, said this isn't going to fly at the moment. It will sit on the shelf. But what they believe is you'll get there eventually. You will finally realise that your people are getting poorer, that you're getting no closer to the statehood that you've long dreamt of, and you will have to do some sort of deal and at least sit round the table with these people.
Well, our people are getting poorer because of Israeli policies. They're not getting poorer because they don't have the human capital or the resources. And this plan, we know it. They want to put us in a corner whereby we accept succumbing to all these pressures and surrendering our internationally endorsed rights. And this is not a peace process. You call it diktats, you call it submission, call it whatever. And I would prefer President Trump to come out and say, I call on the people of Palestine to succumb, I call on them to surrender and just to give up their rights.
Isn't the reality that they're not much interested, forgive me, in what you think or indeed what President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority thinks? They're obsessed with Hamas, controlling Gaza, who are very clear that Iran is their principal ally there. They, I mean Trump and Netanyahu, believe that Iran is the greatest threat on the planet, that Hamas is allied to them, and for the moment they're perfectly happy to ignore you altogether.
Well, if ignoring means that they will not dismantle international order, if ignoring means that we can save whatever we have in terms of the rules-based multilateralism, let them ignore us, my friend. Because it isn't about Palestine now. It is about the premise and the heart of international order that was established by Europe, by the United Kingdom, your legal brains. It's about the horrors of the Second World War. Only yesterday, we remembered the never again of what happened in the Second World War. And therefore, this is a moment for us. Either we defend our togetherness as a human family, either we defend our human experience and our ability to mediate among each other, or we are subjected to some strongmen who are doing everything as part of their vested narrow now interest. This is exactly what will be happening in Washington today. This is about
I
Trump.
hear your anger.
This is about Trump and it's about Netanyahu. It isn't about peace. It isn't about resolution. It isn't about anybody else.
Now, your anger is palpable. Your frustration is palpable. No, I want to just ask you there. People who sympathise with you may just want to say, fine, but how do you get from where we are to where you hope to be? Because there's not the slightest
Oh, my
sign,
God.
is there,
My
that
God.
that is possible?
My God, Nick, we will. We have the greatest nation on earth, the most rooted. Ask Prince Charles. I was with him. I had the honor only 2-3 days ago in Bethlehem. I accompanied him to the Church of Nativity, to the mosque, Omari Mosque. He saw the people of Palestine, the diversity, the energy, the rootness, and the hope in their hearts. And I tell you, such a nation will get where they are. And if people think we are up for sale, they don't know the people of Palestine.
Ambassador Zomlot, Palestinian ambassador to the United Kingdom, thank you for coming in.